season 6. Believe it or not, we've done 6 seasons of this incredible championship, and the best day of the year, apart from yesterday, and apart from probably March time, as we're about to embark on an epic journey to find out who will be the season 6 champion. And to be honest, I think that the championship is very much wide open, isn't it? In terms of, there's no really clear favourite, is there, of who we can, of who's going to be the, who's the favourite of who's the favourite of taking the title. And of course, in both the constructors and of course the drivers as well. I'm just quickly getting the link up, and we should be away in just a few seconds whilst I sort the old stream out, which which usually takes me like half an hour to get going, but yeah, it won't be too long. Of course, then we'll go through the teams and drivers in just a few seconds, and of course I would recommend that if you haven't watched it yet, to watch the elite race, because last night was truly epic. It was absolutely outstanding way to start the championship, and really I reckon that we're going to be in for just an amazing race again tonight. Let's quickly go through the drivers then, whilst we've got 2 minutes before we go into the lobby then. So let's start off with the Mercedes team then. And in the Mercedes team we do have Not That Bad, who of course was third in the championship last year, wasn't he? So surely he has to be one of the the favourite now that Kumquat and Blaz have been promoted to the Elite League. So surely you would think that Not That Bad should be the favourite. But alongside him is Dan Murphy, who of course will stay with the Mercedes team by the looks of what I got here, and so he stays with the team. So and he's been looking very good in a couple of the practice sessions, hasn't he? He looks like he's really enjoying these 2019 cars, which we'll go through the the differences of the cars in just a few seconds. Next team on this is the longest serving team in Formula 1. They have been in it right from the beginning, and that is of course the Ferrari team. And in the Ferrari team we have Energy Dan. Of course, he drove in a couple of races towards the end of last season, and we're looking forward to seeing how well it does. And of course we got Jonathan Cox again, who drove in a couple of races towards the end of last season as well. And he's two very fine drivers, aren't they? So we're looking forward to seeing how well they do into their first full season in IRC. So good luck to both of them, guys. Next up we have the Aston Martin Red Bull team, and in the Red Bull team is Dave Shaw again. Of course, Dave towards the end of last season he had I think last season he had he missed a couple of races, didn't he? But I'm wondering how he's feeling about the championship going ahead. Surely he has to be in the conversation, don't he, to who's going to take the crown this year. And of course Dave has had an absolutely fantastic year in his personal life, and hopefully he can add to some his life and get some silverware. And of course, alongside Dave in the Red Bull, as I just scroll down my list, is Roscoe, who is actually not. I believe he's been in McLaren for a number of years, but he's actually made the trip across to Milton Keynes now. So he is now driving the Red Bull team. That's a very strong lineup, isn't it? As is with Mercedes as well, actually. But Red Bull got a very strong lineup there indeed. Next up is the Renault team. And of course in the Renault team, as I just take a look down my list, I did promise I would be sorted, but yeah, obviously not. And in the Renault team we have Fizzy, of course, who was I think he was a part of the Williams team last year, so he's coming to the Red Bull. And Snap, I reckon he might be a dark horse this year. He is looking on fine Vettel, isn't he? In terms of speed, really looking forward to seeing what Snap can do this year, because I think he had some, especially towards the end last year, had some very strong races, Snap did, didn't he? So really, that's a really good partnership as well. Looking forward to seeing him. But Snap has definitely been one to watch for this season. Up next is probably the best livery cars on the game in my in my personal opinion, albeit there's been a bit of controversy over the Rich Energy Haas partnership once again. and in the Haas team we have got Hunter, of course. Hunter was quite high on the championship last year as well, wasn't he? Of course, he drove for Ferrari. He's gone to the Haas team now, so again, like, not that bad. He has to be in with a shout at the championship as well. That's what we mean by it's wide open, just like the elite last night, where we couldn't really determine who was really the favourite. Absolutely fantastic. And then next to him is Sven. Of course, Sven was a part of the Red Bull setup last year, and he, especially towards the end of last season, made some Q3 appearances as well, wasn't he? Really got into the thick of things, didn't he, towards the end of last season? So we're looking forward to see how Sven does as well. In the McLaren, we have, of course, Steve Penny, of course, and to be honest, after some of the things that I read an amazing story about Steve earlier on this week, and amazing stuff as well. So good luck to Steve Petty this year. Of course, he was one of the final drivers to drive for Sauber before they turned to Alfa Romeo. But yeah, of course, Steve Petty will be driving the McLaren, and again, like the Haas team, is a very beautifully liveried car. I don't know who's in the second McLaren yet, but hopefully I'll find out soon. Next up was formerly known as Force India, is now a Racing Point. One of the most memorable name in the world is at Racing Point, and in the Pink Panther car this season we have. Again, let me just take a quick look at my list. We have a debutant of Claude F1, so good luck to Claude. Let's just see how well he does this season. So really looking forward to seeing his pace. And I think we've had a late entry. I think is right. Erland will be alongside as well. So Force India could be one to watch as well. Of course, Erland was part of a couple of races towards in the last season. Whoops, I've skipped Alfa Romeo. Next on the list is the Alfa Romeo team, and in it we have Asdog, of course, won the Chinese Grand Prix of last year, and I think he was quite disappointed with his season, wasn't he? And I think Asdog would like to get back onto winning ways in the newly named Alfa Romeo, and. Next up is the Toro Rosso team, and in the Toro Rosso team we have, of course, Broke Grillo, of course, made his debut back in Hungary last year, so he's got his first full season this year with the Toro Rosso team. And alongside him is Bill Matt, of course, the founder of IRC, and he will be driving the Toro Rosso this season as well. And I'm wondering, I'm sensing a bit of confidence in Matt this year, so hopefully he'll be more in the mix as well. So really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. And finally, we have the Rocket Williams, and in the Williams we have Steve, who really has been really up in his game as of late, hasn't he? Towards the end of last season, and really looking forward to a decent campaign. Steve is, of course, been on the podium as well a couple of times, and I'm sure it's in the second Williams. Oh yes, I've got Kingsburg as well, who is also in the Williams. I think he's kept his Williams seat. So those are the runners and riders then for this season, and we're about to get underway in just a few seconds. And so I've just had an invitation, so let me just sort myself out, and away we go then. So I just go up the stream, just making sure that everything's going on. And we got a quick hey in the chat already, so welcome everyone to our second installment here tonight. An absolutely fantastic race last night, wasn't it? Super stuff. And you can see we just look at the drivers there. Of course, we got Jonathan Cox making his first full season. We got some very quick drivers, haven't we? And it's actually double this in the Williams, so my apologies. So double Cream Cat is in the Williams, so excellent stuff from double. So he'll be driving the Rocket Williams, and hopefully he'll be going like a rocket as well. Of course, Mr. Consistency definitely. As we're just taking a look down the list, so as you can see then, yeah, Erlang is in the Racing Point as well, as you can see, and we got a couple of drivers in. We're just waiting for a couple more, so and then hopefully we'll be racing in Australia. Of course, we've got 8 minutes to go then, so yeah, we'd like to know what your predictions are. Yeah, let's just take a recap of last night though, in the Elite League. Fantastic stuff, wasn't it? An amazing race as well, and I ain't going to spoil it, but it was one race. It was a race where if anything didn't happen, we had carnage on the opening lap. We had early pit stops. We had punctures. We had safety cars as well. It was incredible, and a sprint finish towards the end. Amazing stuff, really. You was on the edge of the seat. You didn't know who was going to win until literally the final corner of the last lap. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So yeah, I'd suggest you go back and watch that. Really good stuff. I wonder how many of the guys that are sitting in the lobby now, just getting themselves ready to go. How many of these guys have actually watched the race and thought about strategy and stuff? Are they going to go for the one stop? Are they going to go for the two stop? Is it going to be the how the strategy is going to play out? And in terms of the new rules then this season, and in terms of Formula One, of course, the front wings are simpler now. We've also got a bit more of a new safety feature as well. As the rear rain light now has, we now have it also on the side of the rear wing end plates as well. So which to be honest looks quite cool actually. I quite like it. So that's good things as well. Of course, the tyres have now finally been simplified, so you may hear me saying super soft for the first, I don't know, half of the season. It takes me a while to adjust, but yeah, they are now just the soft, the medium, and the hard compound tyre, and of course there's 5 types of tyre in all. Of course, from C1 to C5. I ain't going to bore you with the details really, but it's not all that you need to worry about. Is it's the soft, medium, and hard compound tyre. Jonathan Cox has just put in the comment section, best of luck to everyone this season. We got a superb lineup, haven't we? Really, we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be mega. I really cannot wait to see how this is going to go. So and as we're also counting down then, so that's the tyre situation. Qualifying rules remain the same, so Q1, Q2 and Q3 will be splitting up the qualifying, and of course we are doing half distance as well, so 29 laps around this cracking Melbourne circuit. As it's been on the Formula One calendar now since 1996. Incredible stuff, isn't it? To be honest, it's got a bit of a bad reputation in terms of it's really difficult to overtake. But I think Australia in the 20 plus years has been on the calendar. It's had some fantastic races. I really enjoyed '96 where the two Williamses were battling out throughout the race. Of course, Jacques Villeneuve, an amazing debut, wasn't he? In the Williams, but I remember the Williams were just fighting like almost half a minute in front of Eddie Irvine, and it was like third, like half a minute behind. It was incredible. It was really incredible, wasn't it? Of course, '97 was an absolutely fantastic year as well. Where Villeneuve looked like was in a class of one, wasn't he? Really, he was absolutely dominating in the practice and qualifying, and in the race he was out in the first corner. So yeah, that just goes to show, really, doesn't it? You need to get a good start, and of course David Coulthard came through to win that race. And I think that was McLaren's first win for several years. I think it was McLaren's first win since Ayrton Senna back in 1993 in Australia. That was an amazing statistic, wasn't it? Of course, Hakkinen completed the podium for McLaren in third position. Yeah, Frentzen unfortunately had a brake failure, I think, and just went flying off into turn 1. 98, of course, we had a controversial race, didn't we, where both McLarens were... well, Hakkinen was called into the pits, wasn't he, in error, and Coulthard let Hakkinen back through. There was a gentleman's agreement in place, but yeah, that race was a bit was interesting. 99 was a good race as well. To be honest, I think we've gone through 4 races of Australia now, and I think all of them have been crackers. 99, of course, it was incredible. I think we only had like 6-7 finishers. Eddie Irvine won his first ever Grand Prix, of course, went on to challenge Hakkinen for the title that year. Brilliant Euro 99 was one of my favourites, actually. It doesn't get mentioned a lot in terms of when people talk about their favourite years, but really good Euro 99 was. Of course, 2000 as well. I can't really remember much about 2000, so I think Schumacher won the race in 2000. Yeah, 2002 was had that massive crash, didn't we, between Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher just launched over the back of Barrichello. I think we only had 6 finishers that day as well. The best moment about that race was definitely Mark Webber winning. Mark Webber getting on the podium for finishing 5th for the Minardi team, which of course back then Minardi were we've now been morphed into Toro Rosso, and they were yeah, they were. it was a big deal for them back then, wasn't it? Especially how dominant the top teams were back then. Especially Ferrari, they were absolutely phenomenal. And of course, 2003. Of course, it was a. I think it was 2003. Yeah, it was a bit of a rain-hit race, I think, and it definitely shook up the running order. David Coulthard come through to win again, I believe. After Montoya spun, interestingly enough, they did have traction control back then as well, didn't they? So, yeah, Montoya threw the race away. Of course, Ferrari didn't have their new car yet either. 2003 was a very good year for Formula 1 as well. Of course, they shook up the rules, didn't they? They had one-shot qualifying, all sorts was going on that year. And yeah, I also quite enjoyed the 2005 race around, but I think I enjoyed qualifying more, where they was also doing single-shot qualifying again. Absolutely bucketed it down, didn't they? Fisichella got pole position by 2-3 seconds or something like that. It was incredible. Takuma Sato smashed against the wall quite heavily as well. And of course, 2007 Hamilton making his debut, an amazing, audacious overtake on his teammate on the first corner of his first lap at the start. Brilliant stuff. Star was definitely born that day, wasn't it? Of Hamilton, shows that he definitely was definitely the one to watch. 2009, the amazing race with Braun GP. Jenson Button come through to win that race quite comfortably. Barrichello had a bit of an interesting race, didn't he? Of course, he had a poor start, bogged down, and damaged his front wing. But yeah, the Braun was such a class that it didn't affect him at all. Of course, and then Kubica and Vettel had a bit of a awkward. Well, it was a bit of a clumsy crash really between two very good racers. 2010 was a decent year as well. Yeah, of course, Button come through to win again, and of course in varied conditions. Vettel, I think Vettel had a suspension failure, didn't he? I think, and went flying off in turn 13. So yeah, no, so yeah, we just gave a list of how good. I think in the recent years Australia hasn't actually. So that's basically it was just a very long answer to how good this race can be. So yeah, there's me waffling on for like 7 minutes. Yeah, but yeah, recently I think the races haven't been too good. I think the last race that I really enjoyed around Australia was probably 2013 with Kimi Räikkönen, with those very fragile Pirelli tyres, wasn't it? Lotus really showed the way in terms of tyre management in that race, and there was only teams to do 2 stops, I believe. As so then we've got 15 drivers in at the moment. We're waiting for a few more to come in. So if that is the case, we ain't going to have anyone knocked out in Q1. So we're going to have a bit of a practice session to begin the opening round. Ooh, excuse me, sorry, I've had too much coke. It must be a phenomenal day. These last few days, I've actually been commentating in a shirt, and. So well, that's mainly because I've been rushing home. And anyway, then, as you can see, then we got a couple of guy Dave's in the chat. Good luck. Let's do this. Definitely, of course. And of course, then Dave was a big contributor last night in the Elite League, wasn't he? And really, it was very entertaining stuff, wasn't it? The Elite League. Anyway, but I reckon these guys will put on just as a good show as well. And to be honest, as much as of course Vanquish is the defending champion in the Elite League, but this, as we were saying, this league is just wide open. It really is. When we were just going through the runners and riders, we couldn't determine who's got the advantage. Anyway, here we go then. Some beautiful shots. Then I think that is turn 10, isn't it? Going into turn 11 and 12. And because there's the car park at turn 4 and 5, and there's the car park for the rest of the year. And yeah, now we're just about to get into this then. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I can't do 2 things at once, you see. Anyway then, so we're just about to get into this. So at the moment then we got 15 drivers. So I think Q1 is going to be more just trying to get used to the track. Who is adapted to these cars is the question. Who's got a handle on these front wings? Who is? We got 16 cars. So my apologies. We got so there will be one person that will be eliminated from this first session then. So then you can see them as Burgess is actually in the McLaren. So I apologise again. So. Yeah, that's the second McLaren. And you can see the pit here. Of course, the pit name was changed a number of years ago, wasn't it? Because it used to be used to be a chicane going into the pits to slow the cars down. We have our first car out on track here in Melbourne. And it is Sergio Perez. So Sergio Perez then is the first man out in the racing point. Of course, we have Kevin Magnussen, who was out with us last night, wasn't he? He did a phenomenal job, Kevin Magnussen did, but unfortunately he's not meant to be in it. So we got now we got Perez. So I really think that the F1 drivers need a hobby or something, don't they, on the Thursday? Obviously their media commitments is just it's not as entertaining as it used to be, I must admit. I haven't said that though. The press conference today was pretty phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. The banter between Ricardo and Lando Norris, pretty good stuff. Of course, Lando Norris has I'm becoming a real big fan of Lando Norris. He's really enjoying seeing his activities on Twitter as well. Of course, he does a lot of sim racing, doesn't he, himself, with Max Verstappen. I think he took part in the Bathurst race not so long ago. So now we're on board then with Jonathan Cox, and of course Jonathan made his debut towards the end of last season. He's driving the Ferrari this year. I remember making my debut around this time back in season 5, nervous as hell, and driving this red car as well. So I don't think Jonathan will be nervous though, because he looks like he's can fit like a glove in this in this series, in this sport. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 already. So as we're coming now through the second section, now we're going to stay on board with Jonathan because we want to take you through a lap of this magnificent Albert Park circuit. You can see there's the treacherous turn at 12 there. That will definitely spit you onto the inside of the barrier quite quickly. It's very dull out there at the moment as well, isn't it? And Broke Gorilla is out already, and that is a big shame for Broke Gorilla. So he is going to be the first one who has knocked out a Q1, and that is a major shame for Broke, really, because I think this is the session where you just really wanted to get your eye in, and that's a major issue already for Broke. And he's left the session, and that, oh no! So we've already lost a driver already in the Toro Rosso. Now we're on board with Jonathan, then coming into turn 1, then you can see then dropping down the 5th gear, now accelerating on through turn 2, coming into the second DRS, well, it is the second DRS zone. As you can see, we've got a car down the way, that's Matt getting out of the way, now into the Brundle turn. Of course, Brundle went flying over the back of Johnny Herbert in 96, into the car park at turn 4, and you can see him correcting the car mid corner into turn 5. This turn 5, the back end can step out quite quickly and you'll be in the wall there. Turn 6 isn't too bad on a day like this. The shadows really cause some issues when you're trying to find your braking point now. Because turn 8 and 9 there, it used to be a nasty bump there on the way into turn 8, and it really upset the car there as well. Jonathan taking all the track and then so not getting too close to the wall there, because that wall can surprise you, can it? As you can see then, really enough in quarter turn 10 now into 11 and 12, one of the best corner combinations on the calendar. As you can see, Jonathan doing a brilliant job there, taking it a bit cautiously as well into the third and final DRS zone of the session. And Perez has done the 1:27.9 there. Nice to see Perez in, nice to see we've got an actual F1 driver out there. Shaky's taking it so nice to see into turn 14 now then, and into the slowest part of the corner. He drops circuit drops into second gear, just about 50 to 60 miles an hour. And now, as you can see, he's ran out of deployment now. You've got to be a bit wary on the battery power. And he comes over the grid hatchings now, and what's he doing? A good timing for Jonathan. He's done a 1:23.8 in the Ferrari. Nicely done for Jonathan. So he is fastest so far. Remember, this is just a... well, just really seeing how just really seeing how they do, how the grip is out there. Of course, the track is going to be very green at the moment. That means they're, oh, and Hunter, they're doing a Suto there. Asdog has gone fastest at the moment in the Alfa Romeo racing. What about Hunter? He's third fast at the moment. So Asdog has gone fast at the moment. It's beautiful stuff from Alfa Romeo, of course, formerly known as the Sauber team, and he's I'm really looking forward to seeing what Asdog can do. Of course, he really, I think, maybe might need to improve on qualifying as well. Erlangen, I think he's the Indonesian driver who is now in the racing point. He is third fast at the moment. Of course, he was a part of the elite team last season. Of course, so I think it's really early in the morning for Erlangen. So props him double in the Rockets. Williams is in a 5th position at the moment, so he's on the 1:26. That was. And who else like that? Here comes Sven then in the beautiful Haas coming around the final corner then. So what's Sven doing then as he's coming across the lines on the 25.1 there, and he is 5th fastest. He is 7 tenths of a second away from his teammate at the moment. Hunter. So as you can see, we got a yellow Renault there. I was going to say Jordan. I don't know. I need to. I'm gone back to 2005. Whoa. Oh, back to when I was in secondary school. Blimey. And now it's Physico there, just getting on the way. Matt is on a lap now, so Matt coming across the line now. You can see he hasn't deployed anything. What about Snap? I'm really interested to see what Snap can do. Matt is just 131. And what about Not That Bad? How's he doing? He's in the Mercedes this year. Of course, Murphy is not, doesn't look like he's in the session, so what about Not That Bad? He goes third fastest at the moment on a 24.0. Good stuff from Not That Bad. You could say that's not that bad. Yet the puns are going to continue all the way through this year. So just like last year. Just watching Physico at the moment, who is on our compound tire. On board Matt though, as Matt is on a quicker time, but we're going to stay with Physico at the moment. So I think Snap just done a 2 minutes, is that there? Good stuff. So well done to Matt. As so just on board then in the Renault, then coming through the final couple of corners now. Of course, he's on the hard compound tire. I was just about to say the medium tire. Car 14, the former Fernando Alonso number. Of course, we got both McLaren numbers that have been vacated now, and he comes across the line, and of course Physical, I think that was just an outlet there. So we're going to stay with Matt now, who is on I wouldn't say he's on a quick lap as such here. I think he's just trying to get his eye in, because you can tell that, because well, unless he's doing a very good job of deploying here. And now he comes through the final corner now, and what's he doing? And DRS is open, and he is now powering up to the line then, and he has done a 26 then for Matt, so he's moved himself up to 7th position so far. 2 laps then on those soft compound tyres. Snap then is just cruising along out there. What about his teammate Physico then? And it's really dull out there. Remember, we had a sprinkling of rain towards the end of qualifying yesterday, didn't we? So I don't think I've heard anything from the weather forecasters down there, i.e. the drivers. And just watching Physico now, of course, he's on the hardest compound tyre. Of course, we ain't going to talk about strategy yet. We'll talk about strategy in the Q2. And you can see lovely camera shots here of the cars. I must admit, I do like the front wings without the wing elements on the front of them now. To be honest, I don't like it. I like clean bodywork. Even though I must admit, I do quite like the 2008 cards, and they had all sorts hanging off them, didn't they? And you can see then there's Physico there, and the Renault's maybe trying out some slipstream already. Physico might even validate that there, because that was not counted there. As dry qualifying the race. Thanks, Kumquat. Of course, Kumquat, who drove a very clean race, of course, made his debut in the Elite League yesterday, the Season 5 World Champion. And of course, Jonathan also giving me the weather forecast as well. At least someone's listened to me. Excellent stuff. So Physico then is just on that now. But so Snap then. Snap is 7 seconds quicker than the first side. I'm really interested to see what Snap can do, because there's been a lot of rumours in the paddock and around the media areas. Whoa, about that Snap is really taken to these cars beautifully well. As both Renaults are. I don't know. I think they just want to. Obviously, they want some media attention here, don't they? There's a Burge is out the mouth. Physico is also out as well. So let's just take on board with Dave Shaw then. Lovely cameo green helmet here from Dave Shaw. Of course, then he's returning to the Red Bull again, because he was in the Red Bull last season. So going, look at that attack in turn 5, beautifully well, 27.5 in the first sector, and. Remember at the moment then, so who's going to be knocked out of qualifying? Well, unfortunately broke his left already, but he will not take part. But Roscoe is not in either at the moment. But of course Roscoe, Dave Shaw's teammate, he will be, I'm sure he'll be out and about in just a few seconds. So going up to turn 11 and 12 now. Listen to the engine note as it goes through. Look at that. A hint of a lift in the first part, and then the second part he was on it straight away. And you can see he's not going into 8th gear very quickly there, is he? Because I've heard, to be honest, I struggle to do manual gears, but that's because I haven't got the brain capacity to do. Whoa! Outside wheel is on the gravel there. We've got a bit of old school gravel out there. Love it. Not like Paul Ricard. all your regular viewers know how much I dislike Paul Ricard. Now what does he do? He comes across the line. He's aiming for a podium today, Dave Shaw, and he's done a 24.003. Beautiful stuff. You know, if he did if he did 007, then that would be quite appropriate, considering the fact that Red Bull got the 007 logos on their rear wing and side pods, I believe, for the race for this weekend in Monaco. Monaco in Silverstone, of course. As he's just on board with Burgess here. Then it's great, and there's a couple of Facebook groups, isn't there, out there, which I know, just taking a look at number 2 of Burgess here. Yeah, but there's a couple of Facebook groups, and you see a load of guys taking pictures of Silverstone, absolutely envious. It looks amazing. Anyway, just on board then with Harry coming into, he's gone a bit deep into turn 15 now. He accelerates away, and DRS will be, there is DRS. And what does he do? You can see then he's out of deployment, and he's done a 27 now from Burgess, and he goes 10th fastest, bearing in mind he is on the medium compound tyre. Steve's just starting us up now, but here comes Roscoe also starting us up. So Erlang has left the session, and he was 5th at the moment, didn't get a racing point. So we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. We'll worry about that in a second, because we're going to stay on board with Roscoe now. Of course, we've been on board with Dave, who's gone right up in the 3rd position, and Dana looking very strong early on from the block, out of the blocks here. Now coming into taking all the curb and then some here. And you see just going taking as much track as he possibly can get away with. Love shot here into, see, dropping on 6th gear for turn 11, then accelerating away. We don't get on the power too early because the car feels so unstable there, doesn't it? There's a bit of a dip there in between on 12, isn't it, which really unsettles the car as well. Into turn 13 and 14 now, as he's now coming through to complete the lap now. Roscoe is, he's been and Snap is retired from the session, so he's fairly happy. I'm hoping that he's retired, and he's retired in the pits. The flag looks alright, because he looks like he's retired in the pits, and that's a 23.8 there from Roscoe. So he's 2/10 within Asdog. So really, I think there's a lot of gamesmanship going on at the moment. Double is back on the track now in the Rocket Williams. Of course, I was a bit disappointed not to see a double in Penny. Of course, Penny is not with us tonight, but hopefully we'll see him back in a week's time in Bahrain. Yeah, it was great to see a double in Penny 2 weeks ago. I was in a party with double. Asdog and a Hunter, Dan Murphy and Kumquat as well, and of course Blaz. Towards the end of beginning of last year. I tell you, good bands indeed. I don't think a double likes Jeff very much. I think he got the trophy to tell Jeff to shut up the other day, but that was quite late on in the day. I'm surprised that wasn't one of his first trophies. Now coming down into turn 3, the Brundle turn. Yeah, that was one of the scariest accidents ever. It just shows how scary F1 can be. And Dave Shaw, of course, who's qualified 4th at the moment, is just joining the party. Dave, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, man. Really good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Of course, this is the best day of the year, apart from yesterday in March, for opening day of the season and stuff. So, how are you? First question is, how's life treating you? How's married life going?
Very well, mate. Hectic, busy, baby on the way, but nice to relax and finally get back to some racing.
Yeah, 4 weeks away, isn't it? Less than a month now, I think, isn't it?
Less than that, mate. Less than that.
Oh my gosh, time flies. Is scary stuff. Anyway, talking about the racing, then how are you finding these cars?
Once you adjust to them, it's good. You got to look for a completely different setup. The braking's completely different. But I've got a really good balanced setup around here. So unfortunately, I chose the softer tyres instead of the hardest. So I'm going to have to qualify Q2 on the soft tyres, which is a bummer. So I'm going to have to 2-stop at least, whatever happens.
It depends on what everyone else does, really, because I'm not sure about you, but I feel quite lost on what to tell our viewers about strategy. Really, I'm really unsure. Which, to be honest,
yesterday was a bit confusing because the safety car came out, so it sort of scuppered any view what we're going to get strategy wise. I'm going to try and soft and then medium it. I'm not going to go soft and then hards, because the hards just it's a slow tyre. It takes forever to warm up. Yeah, it's durable, but you lose too much time. So I might go soft or soft, medium, soft again. See what I can do, but yeah, it's not ideal.
Definitely not. But from my point of view, I love it, the fact that we don't know what the strategy's going to be, because I must admit, especially in the Elite League, we found that it was kind of one stop more often than not. But I love how the strategy's up in the air and everyone's guessing. And could I just ask you about your championship predictions? Who do you think's hot and who do you think's not? I've been hearing about Snap and looking very strong in the car this year.
Snap's really good in the practice sessions, really up there. He's 156.7 at the moment. It's sandbagging, I can tell you that.
He was on board with him. He did look like he was attacking the track.
He's been a lot more stable. He's found a good little setup, so he'll be a dark horse for a top 10. It's wide open, mate. It really is. You know, Dan Murphy's probably up there. He's not here this weekend, but anyone. How many winners did we have last year? Different winners. It's going to be the same again this year, mate.
It is. I think when I was just going through the the drivers this year, I was saying championship contender. It sounded a bit like it sounded like I didn't know what I was talking about, which does sound about right.
It really is. No, it really, you know, it's all about consistency. This year's about consistency. That's why Prize and Blaz last year ran away with it. They were constantly in the top 5 every race, you know. So it's all about getting in the top 5. Yeah, for me, not that bad. Says I'm going to tip not that bad if I tip anyone.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you're right about Dan Murphy, because I must admit my information might be a bit false, but looking at some of his TT time trial times, he's looking very on it, isn't he? Especially in this race. It's a shame he's not here this week. But as you said, Azdog, you could throw in the mix. I would say yourself. I would say Matt. I could almost say all like 15 of these drivers.
I'm quietly confident about today. This is my favourite track. This is it. This is it for me. Round 1, my favourite track. If I don't go well round here, that's it for the year. But I love this track. I was doing 23 threes in practice, and that was without the max fuel. So I'm quietly confident that I could have a chance.
Ooh, and talking of which, because I think you wanted to be on the podium, but from that pace, surely you'd be disappointed if you don't get a win.
Well, let's see what everyone else has got. You know, I made a mistake in sector 3, a big one. I had to lift right off. So, yeah, I don't know. If I'm going to win one race this year, this is probably it. This is my best chances right here, right now. But I'm excited. I just hope the connection issues with Erlan are not that bad. Don't come to the surface and ruin a few races. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, unfortunately, yesterday, Crazy Power had a bit of a connection issue, which made it very lively for us. But I don't think it made the drivers too happy. And could I have your view about last night's race? I know we've seen you in the comments as well. It was awesome, wasn't it?
Brilliant, unpredictable from start to finish. Safety car spiced it up. Fancy, is it Jamie blew it with 3 laps to go from the lead? Couldn't believe it. But yeah, action packed, great racing from the boys as well. You know, it was Perez. Magnussen caused a bit of carnage, but to be fair, Magnussen was racing quite fairly. I think people just in a hurry to try and get past him and weren't respecting him. Yeah. Same as what's going to be with Perez today, but it was a fantastic race. You know, they really show why they're the elite drivers. It was just brilliant overtaking. Vanquish, some of his moves around the outside, I've never seen that side of him before. It was unbelievable.
It was really
great to watch.
It was really good to watch as well, because we spoke about Vanquish most of the last season of how much he's robotic, but I think Fiskov was going in the wall then, and as he's just coming in the pits.
Really?
He was absolutely phenomenal. His overtaking was stupendous stuff. It was ridiculous. Some of the stuff he was doing.
The thing is, yet again, he kept himself out of trouble, didn't he? You know, because he wasn't the fastest yesterday. He probably would have had a third or fourth if the others hadn't have binned it. If Sam Stair hadn't have gone if Jamie hadn't have binned it. I think Cartin didn't fight him hard enough when they were battling, and then he got lucky with the safety car passing Crazy quite early on after the restart. So he couldn't even beat him, but he just shows if you keep it clean, keep your nose clean, stay consistent, you're going to win these races.
Definitely. I think that is definitely key. And you mentioned that with Blaz and Kumquat last season as well, especially Blaz. Some of his results were he was always there or thereabouts. and that's definitely what got him promoted. And really looking forward to see how well both those guys do in the Elite League. Excellent stuff. Well, that's in the Q1. Of course,
I'm gonna shoot back, mate.
No problem. Well, thank you for joining us, and it's great to hear your analysis there. So good luck, and I'm really enjoying watching you.
You're doing a great job, buddy.
Cheers. See you in a bit.
Yeah, I know.
It was good to see you. It's good to see Dave in the chat, and just having a quick sharing his expert opinion with us and what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm really looking. I'm to be honest, judging on that just makes me more amped up about what's going to happen. We're now going into Q2. Now this is where it's going to get a bit tasty now. And hopefully we'll get Bro Gorilla back in a few minutes as well. I'm really hoping so, because we would like to, because it's a long road season. There's 21 races around the calendar, around the world, as well as the World Championship. So really, if anything, you need to be in it to win it, really, don't you? So hopefully Bro can get himself back in it. You can see it's still very gloom out there, isn't it? As you can see there. So on the left hand side of the tower, we got the tower of the drivers. We've got one of the cars coming out there. We have got Sergio Perez. Once again, he's really eager, isn't he, to get on with it? Maybe he's got some media commitments to do. So he's coming out in the Racing Point. I haven't said Force India yet, apart from that. So I'm really proud of myself at the moment. That ain't gonna last. To be fair though, Crofty has said it a couple of times as well this season, so I'm not too disappointed. Anyway, yeah, it's a lovely shot of the grandstand there. Jonathan is also out, so it's a repeat of Q1 here, isn't it? And they're really eager to get out. See, Jonathan is on the yellow marked tires. That is the medium of the compound tires. Remember, the yellow is not soft anymore. That's medium. So in the Ferrari, really looking forward to seeing what Jonathan can do, because he has got some pace, hasn't he? In his he's got some pace, hasn't he? Jonathan has, as we've just seen Dan Murphy. Dave melts my heart. Dan Murphy, of course, not here, so not here this weekend. Which, to be honest, I have been some of his times have been absolutely amazing. So he's definitely, I reckon he's and we were talking about the championship contenders, weren't we, with Dave, and it's just phenomenal. All 19 drivers that have signed up so far have I reckon all of them got a chance, really. It's amazing stuff. Of course, and he was talking about consistency as well. Double Cream Cat has got one of the best consistency records of all these drivers. He is always there or thereabouts, especially when you're a race like Azerbaijan or Monaco. He will not be in the wall. He will be there at the end. Now Jonathan is not just starting his lap now. Then mediums to hard will be the best strategy according to Perez. Tire wear is heavy. Oh, that's a good bit of news there from Perez. So now Jonathan comes down to turn 3 then. So then this is where the strategy comes into play now. So if you qualify in the top 10, you have to start the on that compounded tyre. And not just that compound tyre, that exact tyre as well. So you really want to be doing one and done here. So you do not want to be you want to make sure that you want to adjust the slip angle, so you don't want to cause too much wear on those tyres. If you want to go far into the race as well. So Jonathan now, as you can see there, is a bit of oversteer there out of turn 9 then. And you can see it's a cool day out there, isn't it? I wonder if there's going to be any issues with tyre warm-up. We got Erlang Dang, who's on the medium tyres, and not that bad, has left the session. That's a bit of a worry for not that bad. Hopefully he'll be back in soon, because that means that we haven't got both Mercedes and I would say both Mercedes are surely an early shout for the constructors. Absolutely immense team, I think Mercedes has. But of course, as we said yesterday, Crazy Power, who was a midfield driver last season, this season he is right at the sharp end. Anyway, Jonathan coming around the final corner now, car 25. The rear wing is up. Then Perez goes fast on 28.1. I think he might need to up his speed there, Perez. 25.6 out for the Ferrari driver. Good stuff there from Jonathan. Amazing. Good stuff from Jonathan there. 25.6 is pretty good, but Asdog 24.9. He's looking up for it this season, isn't he? 69 Asdog is a familiar number. Matt down goes on a 25.3. Of course, all these guys on the medium tires at the moment, so they're going exactly the same way. Oh, lovely helmet there from Matt. As you heard me from most of the last season, I do appreciate a very good helmet indeed. Hunter is done on the super soft tires at 26.7. I reckon that was a bit of sandbagging there from the Haas driver. Of course, he's on the steering wheel now. He was about to sell it at one point, but he's back on the steering wheel now, and he's really I think he's loving life on the steering wheel now. He's really enjoying it. Sven is gone at 4 fast at the moment. Of course, Sven is getting better and better every race, and he's really starting to turn into a very decent driver, and maybe he could be one to watch. As he's now coming into the brand of it. Ooh, I'm not sure. I think I've had a dodgy pasty or something. Ooh. Oh, and Sven is in the wall, and he's out. Oh no! And just as I say that, I'm sorry, Sven. That's why I don't. Oh, that is a big shame for Sven as well. I wonder, he's done a 26.3. I wonder if he's regretting pushing too hard as Erlang Dan goes on the hard compound tire 4 fast on a 26 flat. So that is Sven, who is out of qualifying. Even if he gets into the top 10, he will not be able to participate. Double's just out of the pits now. He's on the super soft compound tire. So once again, we admire the tents. Lovely stuff. Yeah, great stuff there from the cameraman. As you can see, I was just taking a read to see if not the bad and Broke is coming back in. So we're on board then with Double at the moment. So he's just on that lap at the moment in the Rocket Williams, and Erlang Dang is out as well. And that is a big blow indeed. We have lost 2 drivers already, and he's in sector 3. I wonder if he's gone off in turn 12. We're on board with Double now, and so Erlang Dan is out. You can yes, it is. So it's turn 12 indeed. Oh, he's in the wall. Oh, that is a big shame for Erlang Dan. He's on the hard compound tires. So, oh dear, this is going to be a very difficult race, isn't it? At the moment, who else is on that lap? We've got Physico out there, we've got Dave Shaw out there as well, of course, joined us at the comms box just a minute ago. And of course, we've got Not That Bad, who is not in his car, so he's a bit of a ghost at the moment. Hopefully we'll get back in soon. It took, I can't remember, someone else disconnected yesterday, didn't they? And it took a very long time to get back in. Double now starts that now. Let's right on board with Double. Let's see what he's doing. You can see he's gone into 8th gear then for the start finish straight then, dropping down a few gears to 4th gear then. Accelerating away. DRS right on the bubble. You hear the beep and he was on it straight away. As you can see, it's very murky out there, isn't it? It's really not Australian weather at all. Yeah, usually it's get a shrimp on the barbie. I don't think it is today, is it? Oh, more of a scarf and coat weather. Now, I don't think Double's going to be too concerned about that. All he's concerned about is hitting the apex here at turn 6. Oh, lovely stuff there. That camera goes beautiful. It does kind of always throw me though, because it looks like the car is not going the right way it should be. Into the very difficult turn 8 and 9 now. Of course, Bottas kissed the wall here in 2014 in the Williams as well. As Jonathan has just said, it's going to be a very close and interesting qualifying. It definitely is. It really is indeed, isn't it? I'm really Hasstock is looking very good, isn't he? Of course, he topped Q1. He's now topping Q2 at the moment. Hunter at the moment is done a very cautious time. Is that going to? Will he need to go out again? I don't think he'll risk it. Erlang Dan has left the session again. So hopefully he'll be back in. Of course, he's not going to participate in the rest of Q2. Double comes across the DRS line, and he comes across the line now. And what's he doing? A very competitive time from Double. He's at the 4th. So Double has really put the cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't he? Oh, no pun intended there. Oh, I'm getting good at this. So yeah, Double really stirring the pot a bit there, isn't he? As now you can see Steve, Not That Bad is flying. Unfortunately, only in Ghost from Steve's just starting his lap as well. So it's Physico on the lap. We have a look now with Physico in the Renault. A lot of hype, isn't there, about this Renault team as well? I'd say Physico and Snap, an interesting partnership as well coming into so as part of the circuit. That's the beauty of a new game, isn't it? Because it's not the status quo. We're taking a lot of curb, and even grass, and you see he's hit the limit of his deployment there as he comes across the line. He's on a 27, but he's invalidated his time, or perhaps more like as Hunter comes out of the pit lane and get out of the way straight away. Good stuff there from Hunter, good awareness. Not that bad there. As Unfortunately, a bit see-through at the moment, and he's on a 131. So he's 7th at the moment. Hopefully we'll get back in fairly soon. So Physico is on a lap now. Steve's also on a lap as well in the Williams. Of course, his teammate is up in 4th position. What can Steve do? Of course, Steve is really starting to. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Steve does. Because I think towards the end of last season, 2018, he was really starting to get back in the mix, wasn't he? Really starting to show them some form in it, which I think eluded him in the mid part of the season, didn't it? I think he got a bit, just a bit fed up of some of the interesting things that was happening on F1 2018, like exploding barriers and things like that. Anyway, Steve now comes across, coming now with DRS, hits the marks beautifully. Of course, he's also run out of deployment as well now, but he is looking very strong here. He's done 23 flat there, and he's on fastest position, pole position by quite a margin there. That is an immense time there from Steve. Yeah, he's on the soft compound tire, but that is more than a doubt. That is more than doubter. That is pure speed there from Steve. Amazing stuff. As just taking a look, see outside, Physico is just about to complete his lap, I believe. Where we've got a lovely sideboard shot here, and Physico goes 7th fast at the moment. So he is in it. So yes, he has displaced Perez. So Perez, I'm going to be too impressed with that, is he? I think he's gone off to do his day job, which is driving an actual F1 car. Well, obviously not. Well, he ain't going to be doing it tonight, is he? I think Sky Sports usually have their live show, don't they? I must admit, I usually record it, to be honest, and watch it later on, but I think it was on at 4:30 today, wasn't it, from what I seen. Here comes Dave Shaw now, of course. He's feeling very confident. It's his best, he says it's the best track of the season. So, to be honest, I think that's a very good thing as well, though, isn't it? Get off the mark nicely and get some momentum going in car 25. And now coming into the coming into completely second sector now. And what's he doing? He's done a 49.9 there from Dave. He's on the soft compound tire, so he, of course, unfortunately, we heard about his tire allocation. So the best. What word am I looking for? I don't know, to be honest. I don't think anyone knows. But it isn't the best. I can't think of it. Preparation. That's it. I knew we got a P. Very good preparation, is it? But as we said, though, yeah, possibly with the strikers being up in the air, it could be anything. Dave Shaw goes on 23.4 there, and he is now second fastest, just behind Steve at the moment. We got a car in the background, and that is Hunter, who's on the medium compound tires, going third fastest. Yellow flag in sector 1. I think Dave's just slowed down, get out of the way, as is Hunter. Then Hunter is a top medium runner at the moment. Here comes Roscoe, coming through to complete his lap. Of course, his teammate Dave is in second position. So we've got a mixture of tyre compounds out there. And apart from Erlang Dan, who's on the hard compound tyre, everyone else has gone for the medium or the soft compound tyre. And you can see them, we've still got a bit of deployment. So Roscoe doing a very good job with the deployment management there, and a 10th behind his teammate. Red Bull, or if you look at this weekend, Red Bull definitely the team to beat, and they brilliant. With 2 minutes to go, Snapping Burgess hasn't come out yet, so I think they might need to get a move on, really. Also we haven't got physical as well. We've got Mercedes, who is coming out of the pits. We're hoping it's not that bad, who is back in his car and not away with the ferries. Perez is out of the pits as well. Well, it's nice to see Perez on the track, I suppose, but I'd rather have seen a driver in there. But so here comes Perez then, but I'm hoping that we find an actual, so not that bad. It's also coming out as well, but unfortunately he's at Seaford at the moment. Car 95. Got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's Hunter who's run out of fuel by the looks in the hut, so he's run out of energy, as you could say. And well, to be honest, I'm not sure if there was a publicity stunt or not with the rich energy and all sorts, but it definitely got the social media talking, didn't it? Physico's out lap now then, so let's take a look at the order with just Snapping Harry and not going to be able to get out. What's happened to Snarrian? What's happened to Harry and Snap? Both of them are coming out. That's a big shame now. I'm hoping that there's not an issue there, but no, that's a big blow, guys. So let's just take a look at the running order with just over a minute ago. We've got 70 seconds after the session. Physico is car 14, was formerly Alonso's car before he decided to call it a day in Formula 1. So we've got Stigio on provisional pole position mode, looking very mighty on 23 flat. We've also got a 23.4 from Dave Shaw and Roscoe on a 23.5, looking very good. Hunter is looking strong as well in his Haas car at the moment. He's on 24. He's the first of the medium runners. Asdog at 24.9. He'd done that time quite early on in the session. So remember, the track is rubbering in all the time. It's getting quicker and quicker. Matt is also in 6th position. He's on the medium tyres, and it's Jonathan Cox then. So all them guys on the medium tyres. The double is could be in the top 10. He's looking to be in the top 10 as well. He's on the super soft. He's on the soft compound tyre. Physico now. He is out of qualifying mode, so he needs to get in. Erlang Dan and Sven are both binned it, but they will be starting 9th and 10th. Erlang Dan could be starting in top 10 on the hard compound tyre. That might put him in good stead for the race. Perez out there as well, not that bad. I don't know why Harry and Snap hadn't come out. It's that's a big blow. Hopefully, I can't do two things at once, as everyone well knows, so I can't really read the chat to see what's going on there. But we're on board then, so that's it. So the only men that can, the only men that's going to cause any issues then is Physico, Perez, and Not That Bad. I don't think Not That Bad is in his car though. He is not. So I think Perez is 2 seconds off, so he's got to find a lot of time there, Perez. So Erlang Dan could potentially be in the top 10, as is Sven. Can't Physico do anything about it then? So this is the man that we're going to that could cause Sven a couple of issues then. Now into turn 11 and 12 there. Oh, he's lost it. He's at the wall, and that's out. Physico is out. Well, that's unfortunate for Physico. And so then in the we're going to have a top 8 shootout, not a top 10. And the guys that won't be participating at Erlang Dan, but he'll be starting 9th on the hard compound tyre. If I think can't remember if he's back in the session or not. Sven in the 10th position as well, so he'll be starting on the medium tyre. So Sven in a good position. Physico is just going to the wall quite heavily there, but he'll be starting 11th, so it's not all done and dusted yet. Perez there is in 12th position and got Not That Bad in 13th position. Hopefully we get back in the car. And Burgess and Harry and Snap did not participate for some reason. I'm really impressed with the time from Steve. Amazing stuff, isn't it, in the Williams? So both Williamses are through into the top 10, as is both Red Bulls. Excellent stuff. And both Haas's as well, but unfortunately one Haas will be taking part in this Q3 session. It's a shame we don't have sunny Melbourne like we did in those screenshots. As I take a swig of water and contemplate on life as we get into Q3. That was a bit of a loud gulp there, wasn't it? I keep forgetting I got to hide these like spectator menus and things like that down the bottom. So we got an 8-man shootout here. Hunter, Jonathan, Dave Shaw, Steve, Asdog, Matt, Roscoe, Double. Who's going to get the first pole position of season 6 of IRC? To be honest, I don't know. Steve's looking very quick, isn't he, in the Williams? Dave Shaw is also looking equally quick, as is Roscoe. Of course, Hunter, of course, is top on the medium tyres, as is Jonathan and Matt as well. I remember Hunter there is really keen, isn't he? He's just basically left all sorts of rubber out there. So Jonathan once again is out there. So Jonathan likes to go out quite early. As look at the fans out there, loving it. And we got a bit of sunshine out there. We've seen a bit of flare there, a bit of sunflower. Is it sunflower or sun lens? I don't know. Anyway, you can see, so Jonathan there is out there, so he's just getting his car prepped. You notice that he is not using any ERS because the ERS is switched off completely on the soft tyre. This is the fastest these cars are going to be this weekend. So yeah. So really, this is if you like speed, and if you like speed, then this is definitely the session to watch, isn't it? Of 15 viewers, absolutely phenomenal stuff, guys. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying the coverage, and I hope you and I'm sure you're going to enjoy the next 10 minutes of these 8 men going for the first pole position of season 6. And really, I'd love to know what you guys think, because to be honest, my opinion don't really matter. From who would you? I think Steve. I would say. I'm not going to put the commentators curse because we also want to defend just a minute ago. Asdog opens up the lap now, and so DRS available. He's turned his ears right up. Then so we're on board with Asdog. Then we're going to just stay on board with Asdog for a few corners into turn one there, hitting the apex beautifully. Wow, that is precision of the highest quality now into DRS zone and coming into turn 3 as Price Kumquat, the champion of season 5, is enjoying the coverage. Beautiful stuff. And of course he did a good job yesterday, didn't he? As I said before, really kept his nose well, after the start line drama, he kept his nose clean now. So as we're just watching the Alfa Romeo, it's quite cool to say that, really, isn't it? It's a shame we aren't in Sauber anymore, but it is quite cool to see the Alfa Romeo name back in Formula 1. And then you see then we had a yellow flag briefly in sector 3. Do not worry about that. Roscoe is still in the pits at the moment, so he's just buying his time there. So he's looking very calm. I think he'd be very calm and collecting there. Asdog there, as you can see, coming through the perilous turn 12, really, isn't it? There's always one corner on every circuit that seems to spit you off, doesn't it? We got a yellow flag in 2. I'm hoping it's known it's visited the wall too early. We've got Ferrari in the background now. That's Jonathan, of course, who's really looking forward to his first full season, isn't he? It's great to have him with us, and it's great to have all these guys with us. And now coming through the final corner, then as a double has gone fast on 25-8. Apologies to double. As Asdog, and not about his join, but it's a bit too late to get in there. Asdog 23-1. Brilliant stuff. Jonathan Cox is 4/10 behind on 23.5. Absolutely mega stuff from Asdog. Cracking job. Cracking job indeed. Dave is out there. What about Steve as he comes across the line now? Comes across the DRS line. I keep saying comes across. He's second fastest at 1:23.3. He hasn't been able to replicate his time, everyone. What about Hunter as he comes across the line? And Hunter has done a 29 there, so he invalidated his time, but he's having another crack now. Dave Shaw is just coming to finish us up. Matt is back in the pits, and so is Roscoe as well. So we've got a yellow flag in sector 1, and Hunter is going for it again, and I think as Dave Shaw now. Coming across the line, DRS is wide open. He is aiming for a 23-1. He's done it. Pole position so far from Dave Shaw on a 23-1. Look at that. He is 700ths of a second. And run, Hunter is out, so he ain't gonna get pole position. He is out of the Australian Grand Prix qualifying. That is a big blow. We're staying on board with Hunter because I want to see where he's been there. It's sector 1. It's early on the lap. I wonder if he's gone into turn 5. I think it might be turn 5. That's just a rough guess from my point of view because the car gets very light around here. As we're just on board with Dave, and there's a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it might be turn 5 because we've got a green LED board that's just flashing up in the corner there. Asdog comes back in the pit. It's Dave pole position. Asdog second. Third is Steve. Jonathan in 4th position, and Double looking very happy in 5th position mode. Matt is coming out of the pits. He is out of the pits at the moment as we're just taking a look at the Ferrari guys as they're ready to receive Jonathan. There he is. He's coming into the pits now. Just going on board with Matt then, so he's just preparing his car. He's getting ready. There's a 23-1 within his range. To be honest, I reckon 23 runs in all these guys' ranges. Surely that's how close the field is this season. One slip up and you could be first, you could be 7th. Unfortunately for Hunter, he will be starting 8th. Well, unless Matt and Roscoe run into issues. Roscoe, does he run out of tyres, do you think? Is that why he ain't coming out? Possibly. Hopefully that's not the case, and he's just like the Iceman, really. He's just cool. He's just staying in the pits, letting these guys rubber in the track for him. Then he's going to come out and show his true pace. Of course, remember the track will be at its best with if the last one across the line. But it's a big gamble, isn't it? Big gamble to wait until everyone's gone out, isn't it? Because you can have yellow flags, you can have all sorts going on. Matt then car 80. As he's now coming into the final corner. He's usually car 4. Matt is unfortunately that's been taken by Lando Norris. Which is he's not very good at Lando. Of course, it was taken by Matt Stewart before then, wasn't it? So the Brits do love number 4, don't they? David Coulthard also had number 4 back in 2001 as well. His best F1 season. I think it was anyway. Or B, I must admit that there's a couple of much more impressive drives, wasn't there? I think early on in his career with when he first joined the McLaren team. So Matt is on a quick lap now. So just run on board with Matt Lane. So he's coming through the first sector now. What's he done? He's done 27.6 in the first sector. Then a lovely shot there of the Toro Rosso there. Now, as you can see, then he's got the whole track to himself with just under 5 minutes to go. So this is the calm before the storm, basically. Well, is it the calm before the storm? No, then I think now it's all going to be stormy from here on in. Now there's a lot of thunderstorms out as well around the UK, so I'm hoping it stays off until the end of this race, because I don't want to lose any electric or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just afraid of thunder. I'm going to go to bed. Anyway, Matt, and on the coming up to the final section now, then in turn 14, then he's just dropping down to fourth gear, accelerating away now into turn 5, now dropping down to second gear, just under 50 and 60 miles an hour. A bit of oversteer. He has abandoned it coming to pit, so he's had a sighter. He might be happy, or he might just feel that that time wasn't going to get him close enough, but it looked all right. So he's in the pits. Double is now out of the pits. He is 5th at the moment. So Double is there or thereabouts. He is looking phenomenal, isn't he, at the moment? Because that is a 5th position. That is that is really up amongst the sharp end of the field. Similar to Crazy Power last night, of course, from a midfield runner to right at the sharp end. So Double has got first start. He's come up first. He doesn't want anyone else to dictate what's going to happen to him. So he doesn't want to be caught up in yellow flags, traffic, or anything like that. He's got the whole track to himself, and he is now then just getting himself warmed up. Then, as you can see, then he is on an outlap, and he's just stressing the car already. He wants to get those tires in perfect condition. He doesn't want to. He wants to get the tires and brake temperature fully operational, and making sure that the car is ready to attack. Is with 3 minutes to go. I wonder if he's trying to get 2 runs in here, just to see, because that would be actually quite interesting to see how that would do. Everyone else is in the pits with just over 180 seconds to go. That doesn't sound like a long time at all, but these F1 cars go very quick in 3 minutes. I think you do just about 2 laps, can't you, around Australia? Now coming into the final corner then, so Double now going to start his lap now then, so you can see him, so he's accelerating away then, so on board Double then, so he comes across the line now then, he's aiming to improve on 25.8 here at the moment. He's on the 3rd row of the grid. Williams are hitting new heights at the moment, and so are Red Bull as well, looking very strong out there. Those two teams are. So now coming into turn 3 then, so Double hitting the apex beautifully well there. A couple of car corrections at the moment, but he's looking good. He's looking calm. That's what he needs to be in the situation. As an F1 drivers do an amazing way, and he's half a second up in the first sector alone. Beautiful stuff from Double. He's looking on course for a very good time here. F1 drivers and sim drivers, they're all the same. They're all the same kind, aren't they, really? And I think that they have the amazing way of slowing time down, don't they? And this is definitely, and that's why Double looks so calm on the steering wheel as well. He's a 3,000th of a second up. He hasn't had a good second sector here, so I'm wondering how he might have made a small error there. Of course, that's how close it can be from hero to zero stuff there for Double, and. As you can see then, coming into the final section now, he has time for one more run, but he hasn't harvested much energy here, so he's gone for broke early on, Double has, as he comes across the line now. You can see a bit hesitant on the throttle there. The car is not under him there by looks, but is he going to get a 25? He's done it. He's done 25.6 there. He looked very strong in the first sector, didn't he? His second sector, I think, is where he lost a lot of time there, but that is Double going to go for again. He's only got 6% of errors, so I don't think that's going to as you can see, we're just watching Matt, who's starting his lap. Roscoe's starting his lap as well. Just taking a look to see us. I think it's Roscoe first. So Roscoe is going to be first man over the line. Then let's just take a look at Roscoe. So this is one and only lap man. So he wants to improve on his 8th position. If he gets a time in, he will definitely be at least 7th, because Hunter will not get a time in. Of course, I think he'd be well disappointed for Hunter. Of course, won the championship favourite, surely. Well, in terms of positions last season, definitely, of course, not that bad as will probably be in the competition as well. But as we said, everyone's in the conversation as everyone starts on 0 at the moment. We got two men who haven't crossed the line yet, so that is Jonathan and that is Dave Shaw. They've got 20 seconds to do so. They should be alright. Oh, Roscoe, a bit of oversteer there. Coming out of turn 9 then. Of course, that sweep in turn 10 here is really a nothing corner, really. It's just more of a kind of a ride and drive, just like this corner is what I look at on the grass. But keep it, that is that accuracy is optimal. Now coming into turn 13 there. Double has finished his lap, so he'll be 5th at the most, but that's good solid opening there from Double, and really good stuff to see him really up within the sharp end of his first Q3 appearance of the season. Don't think it'll be his last. Roscoe now comes across the line. He's got DRS available, and what's he doing? He's in the 23s. He's 23.5. He's 4th fast at the moment. He's not double down into 6th position there. But Roscoe is on the 2nd row of the grid. Look, Red Bull's 1st and 4th as it stands at the moment. Marta is going at 6th fast at the moment on a 24.3, and he's dropped double down to 7th now. So Matt will be 6th fastest. Steve is gone on the 23.2 here for Steve. So that would be it. Jonathan is just starting his lap. What about Asdog? So Asdog is next cross line. Can he knock Dave Shaw off pole position? He is. Look at it. He's coming. He's good. He's done it at 22.6. An incredible time there from Asdog. Phenomenal stuff. Dave Shaw is now just finished in his lap. I think Jonathan is also finished his lap as well. Dave Shaw then is now, he's a 10th up. Can he? That could be. He might need a bit. He's run out of air, so as he comes across the line, he's just winning the car go. No, he's improved, but he's only 2nd fastest. I say only. That's it. Well, what about Jonathan? Jonathan comes across the line. He's 5th fastest, I think he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Wow, what a lap from Asdog. Absolutely phenomenal. Of course, he won his first Grand Prix, didn't he, in China? Is he going to do a Ross? Well, Rosberg took 2 years after we went to his Grand Prix to really elevate himself to new heights, but maybe Asdog is following the footsteps. He is on pole position for the Australian Grand Prix, and alongside him is Dave Shaw. Amazing stuff. That is your first front row of the season. And we've got Steve and Roscoe 3rd and 4th. Red Bull looking very strong here. And then we've got Jonathan, of course, making his first full season 5th. Matt is in 6th position at the moment. And then we got Double 7th, and Hunter is in 8th position. Wow, what an end to qualifying. As I just close my window before I get told off by my neighbours. Not that bad as left the session again. That is bad news, really. As we got a couple of Dave Shaw fans in the comments. We're hoping for a Dave Shaw win there. As just on a quick look at the just on a quick look to see what's going on, and of course Hunter's uncle is watching the stream. So yeah, welcome Uncle Hunter. I hope you're enjoying the coverage, and this is going to be a phenomenal drive as well. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what Hunter can do. So yeah, good stuff. As I'm just now swiping up, because I don't want to see any more of the comments now, because yeah, it's race time. This is the most important part then of the event. This is where the prizes are, won and lost. We got a formation lap this year, which is good for me, because yeah, I can quickly go through what's going on in all these guys and how they're going to do then. So let's go from front to back of the starting grid for the season 6 of IRC. Who is going to get off to a good start? Well, Asdog has decided to leave everyone behind. He's 4 seconds in front already, but on pole position is Asdog. And in the beautiful sunshine here in Albert Park is leading them away in the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo's first Grand Prix in IRC. Amazing stuff, even though technically it's the same team as Sauber, on the medium compound tyre. But on the soft compound tyre, and look, Dave Shaw's already showing a bit of and Snap is not doing any of Dave Shaw's games, is he? He's flown away. Dave Shaw is on the soft compound tyre. That is going to give him a good launch, isn't it, for Dave Shaw? Alongside on 3rd position is Steve, there or thereabouts, isn't he, in the Williams? In the rocket, he is going like a rocket, and both Williamses are. He's on the soft compound tyre as well, so a good launch, as is Roscoe on the soft compound tyre. So those three, watch out for at the start. So you guys are going to have to help me. See what goes on. So yeah, keep an eye on those three. Those three could be off like a rocket. Jonathan is on the medium compound tyre in 5th position. Of course, he's the 2nd of the medium compound tyre, so it's going to be slightly longer in the race. Matt is 6th position then in the Toro Rosso. Double is 7th then in the Williams on the soft compound tyre as well. So he's going to get a better launch. Sven is Well, I think the formation and Hunter's on the grid. Oh no! And hopefully it's just a hopefully he's just gone to make a cup of tea or something, and he'll be back for the race. Erlang Dang is ghosted in 9th position, so I wonder he's fallen asleep in the racing point. We got the second half. Erlang Dang's on the medium tire, so he's going to be going way long in this. Sven is in 10th position on the medium compound tire. Physico is also on the grid as well. I think they've been disqualified, so it might be alright. I think Physico on the medium compound tire. Then we've got Sergio Perez, an honorary member. So Kevin Magnussen was last night. Perez tonight. I think he must have heard how good Perez was. Not that bad is not here. Hopefully he has joined. I'm hoping he'll be in this car in a few minutes. We got Harry in 14th position on the medium tire. Snap is on the hard compound tire in 15th, and Gorilla, who is here in spirit but unfortunately not in car. Right then, they're here and they're ready to go. And what a shame for Erlang Dan. He has just said that his connection does not allow him to race. That is a massive blow. That is such a frustrating time for Erlang Dan, because he's on the hard compound tire. He was going to be a factor in this race. So here we go then. And we got 5 sets of lights going. We're going racing down under the Australian Grand Prix, and we are go, and it's a good start by Dave Shaw. It's a very good start by Dave Shaw indeed, but you can see we've already got positions everywhere. Dave Shaw is going to be in the lead into turn 1, is he? No! Azdog hangs around the outside. Beautiful stuff. We've got yellow flags in sector 1 because we've got a car facing the wrong way. It's Hunter. Hunter is off already in the gravel trap, so Hunter is off already, and that is a big blow for Hunter. Azdog leads. Second is, and we got both Williams is coming. We got contact with the Williams here, and Roscoe is dropping down. We got Jonathan doubles up into 6th position. Good stuff. Matt down in 7th. We got a car. Erlang down. We got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. We've got a couple of ghosts in there as well. And I think that's not that bad. It's in the race. He is. Oh, but he's almost in the barrier, and all sorts is going on at the moment. Not the baddest fighting. We got yellow flag in sector 2, and Hunter is out of the race already. So Hunter, unfortunately, his start of his season is just not going well at all, is it? Azdog leads by 1.6 seconds. He is looking very strong at the moment. We got Erlang down and dropping down the field as well. Azdog leads. Dave Shaw second. Roscoe's in 3rd position. Jonathan is up in the 4th position. Matt 5th. Steve is dropped down 3 positions. He's now in 6th position. Sven is up 3 positions. Harry is up 6 positions in the McLaren. Double is down 2 positions. Not the bad. Is flying through the field like a hot knife through butter. He is up 10 position. He's now on the back of Double, going up the inside. Oh, he's brilliant move. Fantastic. And Physico is now in 11th position, in car 14. Sergio Perez. We got Snap, who's in at 13th at the moment. He's just taking his time. And of course, we got 2 ghosts at the back. Lap 1 completed. The gap here is 1.4 seconds already. Amazing stuff from Azdog. Flying. He is. And we got guys in the pits. We got Physico in the pits. We've also got in the pits as well is CEO. So we did have a bit of contact then. Brilliant stuff at the moment then. So Matt is all over the back of Jonathan at the moment in the Ferrari. Sven is 6th position. Not the bad is all over the back. Sven here, he's up in his 7th position, absolutely flying. He has made up the most positions apart from the man behind him. So which is Harry. He's all over the back of Sven. Well, of course Sven had a bit of an incident in qualifying, didn't he? But look at this. So Sven is flying the flag for Haas at the moment. We've got a retirement already. That is Hunter, won the championship favourite shortly, along with this man here. Not that bad. It's a very consistent driver, isn't he? And you could say he's not that bad either. He's got Sive down the inside. Oh my gosh, and Sven leaving him just enough room, and he's going to go on the outside. He is on the outside. Absolutely fantastic stuff. He is hanging on the outside, but Sven is not giving up this one, is he? He definitely isn't. Is he gonna? No, Sven there, brilliantly done. Of course, not the ball's on the soft compound tire, so he will have the speed. He will have the pace advantage, won't he? At the moment, so now he's going on the inside, and he is on the inside going into turn 14. Oh, and Sven there. He's done a great job, Sven, but he's run wide. He's run wide now. Harry's going to go on the inside. He's on the inside. No, not quite. And oh, blimey, what a start. So not that bad. Oh, Sven's gone wide now. That is good. Dave Shaw's made the fast of the race, and that means that Harry is now up into 7th position. Sven dropped down 8. Double looking very good at the moment in terms of pace. He unfortunately dropped down a couple of position. Snap is now at 5th position as well. He's up into 10th position. Perez 11th position. Broke Gorilla is not in this race. Erlang down, but it's not in the race either. Steve is in 14th position. We've got Physico in 15th position. So let's just take stock. Hunter's just joined the party. We'll talk to Hunter in just a few seconds. Azdog leads. Second is Shaw. Third is Roscoe. Jonathan fourth, fifth Bilton, sixth position is Harry, seventh is Harry, Sven eighth, ninth is a double who's all over the back of Sven, and 10th is Snap. Unfortunate Hunter, we've seen you apart on the grid. Well, I wasn't sure if there was a problem because you had a couple of issues with your throttle last year, didn't you? But now you've converted to the steering wheel. Hopefully that should have rectified any issues. But what happened, unfortunately, it seemed like all went wrong from qualifying onwards.
Yeah, crashed at turn 5 in quali, and then turn 1 at the beginning of the race, apparently I hit Fizzy on the formation lap, but then on the actual start I got shunted by Perez, and then I got a puncture, so it just veered straight into the wall when I rejoined. So.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a massive shame, really, because up until that point you were looking good up until that point as well. Because did you mess up your first qualifying run in a Q3? Because it looked like you had an invalidated lap, didn't you? Or was it? Or
no, I went wide at turn on the exit of turn 1. I took too much of the Astro, so it invalidated straight away. I was debating whether just to do the 1 run or the 2. For some reason I opted for the second, even though on this game you can only really do 1 lap on the softs. But yeah, it's a shame because in Q2 I was the quickest on the mediums by about 9/10. So you know, I felt good. I've been working, obviously, like you said, I've got the wheel. I felt pretty good, but stupid AI. I don't understand why the AI is in a league race, but
yeah, that's a bit odd, that is, because it's not even because if it's replaced drivers, then surely we'd have 3 others as well. So I don't really understand that. So that's a bit disappointing. That is. Dave is now all over the back of Asdog. Of course, they're on 2 different types of compound tyres. So going into Bahrain in a week's time, then what are your aspirations for that?
Well, Bahrain's not really a track I get on with that well. If you remember last year, I finished second, but I was about 40 seconds behind the leader. But obviously, I've got a new challenge. Obviously, I'm using the wheel, so it feels a lot better. So today was a golden opportunity with Dan and not that bad missing. You know, I should have been in the fight, but an error in qualifying, and then the AI set fire to that. So we'll come back in Bahrain and go again.
Yeah, that's a big shame. That is. It's a shame you're taking an early bath so early on, really. Yeah, to be honest though, it is looking good. And Dave Shaw and Asdog have come together, and oh no, and that's broken Dave's wing there, and oh dear. Wow, that's not very good at all for Dave Shaw, and I'm wondering if Asdog has got damage as well. As Physico has just got by the Ghost of the Airline Diamond. Also, Snap is also now in front of a double, and it's all over the back of Sven. Not that bad, it's now in the 5th position. Of course, not that bad as joined late, but he is flying on those soft compound tyres. Asdog is, I wonder if he's got damage, he's struggling now. Dave Shaw's dropped a second back now, and Roscoe is going to lead this race. He is going to lead this race. He's down the inside. He's through, and Asdog is been forced for it. Jonathan Cox has gone the outside on the brilliant stuff. Jonathan Cox is up into, yeah, Dave Shaw's got major damage to the end plate there, so he's going to have to come in the pits, and this is that is a major shame. That is indeed. Is that Dave is in the pits now. Asdog continues on his way. Oh dear. I'm too honest. I'm not really. It's got a yellow flag in sector 3. What's going on? Oh, it's Snap. And I think he's got. I'm not sure what Perez has just got by, but Snap has had a bit of an issue there. As he's dropped down a competition. Dave is in the pits, getting his wing changed. Wow, that all just went off, didn't it? So we were having a nice conversation with Hunter. Oh, and that's one of the top. That's Matt. Matt is in the wall. He's damaged his front end plate as well. It's all gone flying off. So yeah, it's having a nice. It's just gone wild. And oh no, and Matt's in the gravel there. He's trying to recover. He's damaged his end plate as well, and he's on the medium compound tire, so that might hurt him really, because he would like to have gone a lot further in this race. Blimey, I'm not sure what happened. Unreal indeed. Dave is now in the 11th position. Steve, of course, who had to pit early as well, is just right behind him. So all sorts has gone on in this race all of a sudden. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. We'll come back to Hunter in just a few minutes because really, we like to have his take on how these cars feel, how the transition is from the pad to the wheel. So we'll go through all that stuff in just a few minutes. Hopefully you'll stay with us. Matt is dropped down to 7th at the moment, and oh, we got a Renault. Snap is the wrong way around. He's just recovering again. As somehow it's Dave, Shaw, and Steve just avoids each other as well. We're back on board with Steve at the moment. He is going on the not quite. Asdog is now all over the back of Roscoe at the moment. I'm wondering if the Tartars are now starting to had enough. Jonathan's also all over the back of Asdog. We got a four-way fight for the lead. But we're just going to stay with this battle here. Oh my gosh, and we're going to have to cover this battle here, aren't we? Because look at this, and they're 4 abreast. And we got another bad Simon down the inside of Jonathan. Amazing stuff from Not That Bad, and he is now up into 3rd position from Not That Bad. Incredible stuff. And wow, we're gonna have to take stock in a minute as Matt's in the pits, and so Matt is dropping down a couple of positions. I think Dave and Steve have not finished their battle yet either, because they're now on the back of Sergio Perez. Of course, we got another AI in the race. So we're not really sure. It's Hunter has joined again, so hopefully Hunter can keep up to the. Will hopefully stay with us to commentate on the outside of Dave Shaw. Going incredible stuff. He's up to 8th position then, so Steve's got to go by quite quickly as well. As phenomenal stuff, absolutely phenomenal. As Asdog is dropping back again. Oh, he's gone very wide out of turn 12, and Not That Bad is now all over the back. As Steve is now by Perez. Not That Bad is up the inside, and oh my gosh, they're all over the. Oh, and Not That Bad, they're getting a bit too heavy-handed on the front. And Jonathan's gone on the outside. Brilliant stuff from Jonathan. Fantastic driving, and he's gone on the inside. He's on the inside. The contact. There's damage. There's wing damage. Asdog's in the pits. Jonathan's gone on. I wonder if that might have been a bit too much of a. Oh, they're all in the pits apart from Jonathan. So wow, what's gone on? Blimey, it was all calm, wasn't it? And all of a sudden, then it's just gone crazy in the last couple of laps. Roscoe's being held there. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Well, not bad. It's on the hard compound tyre. I'm not sure. We'll have Hunter's opinion on that in a minute as well, because there's a bit of negative views from the hard compound tyre from Dave when we were talking to him in qualifying, and now as Not That Bad is coming out of the pits. Now Harry's up into 2nd position. Asdog got pole sitters dropped down to a 3rd position. Where's Dave going to come out and all this? Dave is in. He sees Asdog. Of course, these two are on the front row of the grid. Dave's going to go on the outside. He's side through. He's on the medium compound tyre there. And Dave is now up into 6th position. Steve is 7th. Perez is 8th. Yeah, that is Perez. Double is now on the medium compound tyre. Gorilla is not in this race. And Matt is just recovering after a difficult time, and unfortunately Snap is down in 15th position at the moment, so I think he got involved in a couple of incidents there. Yeah, as a 3-second penalty for Jonathan, who's leading the race at the moment. Yeah, let's go back. Let's just quickly go back to you, Hunter. Then, so yeah, how are you finding these cars then? The 2019 game. I must admit, I've read a lot. There's been a couple of negative comments about the game, but I've quite enjoyed it. But what's your take been on that?
I think as a whole it's an improvement from 2018. There's still a few things that are being addressed, which Codemasters have said that they're going to put in the next patch. But on a whole it's a pretty decent game. It's a lot different to, obviously there's no ballast and the wings are a little bit different, but again you don't really notice well, you notice the balance because you do understeer a little bit more on this game than the last. But with the wings, it's what I've noticed is you just got to use lower wings. But no, in a whole, it's a good game. Codemasters have really stepped the game up, but there's still a few things they could have done through the beta to make it ready for its release. I think they've released it and there's too many niggles and there's still a few glitches and etc. But no, on a whole it is a pretty good game. It's pretty good.
And in regards to the other question we want
Dave's in the wall, by the way.
Oh no! Dave is out of the Australian Grand Prix. That is a big blow for Dave. He was on the front row of the grid and he's gone into the wall. That's coming out of turn 6. Oh no, and And unfortunately, one of the fan favourites is in the war, and he's out of the Australian Grand Prix. That is a big blow for Dave, because he felt like that he had a car underneath and it was able to challenge as well. So a massive blow there for Dave, and I'm to be honest, it's really disappointing. Sven is causing all sorts of problems for Steve and for Jonathan at the moment. And Steve goes up the inside, and he is through, and Jonathan's gone through as well. And Jonathan's gone through. He's going to sting in the turn. No, he has. That's a brilliant move there from Jonathan. Absolutely fantastic. But Steve's on the outside in turn 15. I've never seen the car go on the outside there. Oh, and Sven's gone right to. He's gone the onto the escape road there. As now Steve's now got DRS. I think Sven is still out there at the moment. He's going for it. Jonathan goes on the inside. Steve's going to go on the outside. He's got DRS, and good defending there from Jonathan. But he's got DRS again. Then he's used up a lot of VERS then as I go 9 turn now down to the Brundle turn. Then so turn 3 then, of course, under the shadow of the trees he is through, and he got contact, and that's debris gone off Jonathan. That's the end plate gone off Jonathan's car. Of course, these wings are a lot more simpler than last year, but that is not still hurts you when you damage your front wing. So that's a big blow for Jonathan. That might cause him some issues. He's only just come in the pit as well, so a bit of a shame there. Oh, fantastic stuff. And Matt is now up into 10th position. He's back in the points. Remember, there's also a new rule in place about the fastest lap, which we haven't touched on just yet. If you're in the top 10, you get an extra point for setting the fastest lap of the race. So that's a new dimension to racing this year as well. Roscoe is looking very good, but not that bad. It's looking absolutely phenomenal this season. He is looking like a very strong favourite, isn't he? Lap 10 out of 29 then is we got Harry, who leads the race in the McLaren. Roscoe is second, and third is not that bad. He's on the hard compound tire, so he'll be going to the end now, we believe, as Harry's in the pit set at the moment. Go back to you, Hunter. And what about the wheel then, from the pad to the wheel? How is that? Is that a major difference? And is it easy to adapt to?
No. It's simple. When people say that they're getting a wheel, you think, they'll instantly they'll get on it, and they'll be quick. But honestly, you've got to do all your configurations, so you drive how you like it, your force feedback, or the sensitivity that comes through your wheel. So if you hit the rumble strips, you get the whole feel, and your turning's a lot different than what it is as well. So your steering, you have to do less input, and it's a lot easier on the wheel when you get used to it. But when you first start, it's a bit, because obviously, like I said to you, obviously I've been talking to you after the end of IRC, and I told you I was getting the wheel, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting it about 2 weeks before we start, because I need to get used to it. So I did a bit of a test earlier, and I used my controller, and I was 7/10 slower than my actual wheel time. There's a saying, and I never used to believe it: if you go to a wheel, you never come back to using your pad. But after using the wheel, I understand what they mean now. So the wheel it's a lot nicer to use. It's just getting used to it. I'm still not there yet. I had a good time in Q2 where I thought, ooh, well, obviously it's the force feedback on these. When you make a mistake, it is so hard to correct it. So it's a learning curve, but I think it's the right choice I've made. So stick with the wheel and see where it takes me.
That's excellent feedback, but Dan Murphy is disagreed by saying that apparently you're poo on both. Obviously, we're not going to swear on this channel, because we've got all sorts watching. So yes, welcome everyone. As Dan Murphy does like a bit of banter every now and again, as I found out to my cost as well. Anyway, but I think it's definitely a major improvement by the sounds of it. Then, so 7/10 of a second in 2 weeks on a wheel is pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? So there's really no bounds then of how quick you can go. Then surely you should be up with the best.
Well, if I look at the Q2 qualifying 2 times today, I was clear of the next medium runner. I think I was about 9 tenths ahead. So, you know, and I was still in the second. I think I was about 3 thousandths away from it being a second to Steve when he topped it on the softs. So, you know, but the thing to remember is, if you remember IRC last season, I didn't do very well here either. So I think it's just me and this track. We don't get on, but.
It is very, to be honest, even though, because Code Masters does say that this track is easy, very easy in terms of difficulty, but it may be if you want to drive around it slow, but it's definitely not easy if you want to attack and get on with having decent pace around here. It's a very tricky track to dial yourself into. Very difficult to start the season off, isn't it? Walls are very close to the track, so you've got to be making sure that you're there or thereabouts. Not about cutting the turn 11 there completely, as was just stated on board then with Not That Bad, as he is now really chasing down Roscoe. So a brilliant drive out from Not That Bad. We got Gorilla, who unfortunately didn't make it past stake Q1. Just going to the strategies then a bit quick. At the moment, we've got a wide range of strategies out there. We got Not That Bad on the hard tyre, Roscoe's on the medium tyre. Is the hard tyre? Did you have a chance to play with the hard tyre before you come into the race today? And is it such a bad tyre?
I was using it over the weekend and this week while I've been practicing with a few of the few drivers out there, but it's not a bad tyre. It's, you know, you still get some pretty good lap times out of it, and the tyre life is pretty good, I think. But again, that could be just my preference, because if you remember to the last season, I was always feeling it on the harder compounds. So to me, I was one stopping today. I was going mediums to hards. So obviously, I think Roscoe's out on there on the mediums. He will have to stop again, or if he doesn't, his tyres will be, you know, completely within an inch of the life. So yeah, I agree with Not That Bad strategy, but again, I think he's gone on them a little bit too early.
Yeah, he's done 6 laps up on them already, hasn't he? So that's a very long way. Yeah. That's almost 20 laps he wants to get to the end on the hard compound tyre, if my maths is right. So don't quote me on that, guys.
Do that. They will do over 20. I think it's about 24 laps, but you'd have wanted to go on them just a little bit later, just so when the mediums start dropping, you've still got enough tyre life to have an advantage.
And of course, they've also got to be worried about the safety car. We had a safety car towards the end of the race yesterday, didn't it? Not just threw the race wide open. We'll come back to that in a minute, because Not That Bad is now going on the outside into turn 3. Oh, Roscoe there really wasn't having any of that, was he? Slammed the door completely in Not That Bad's face. So yeah, Roscoe was not taking any. Not That Bad, almost in the wall there. It's very easy to do in the wall there. We was talking about it when we was going around on an on-board lap in qualifying. The car gets really light in turn 5, and unfortunately, you found out to your cost as well in qualifying, didn't you? Did you just lose the back end? Did you when you? Because unfortunately we missed it on the stream. Well, it might be fortunate for you though.
Nah, just too much curb, and then. I corrected the first part. That was the thing that really annoyed me. I managed to correct it, but then my force feedback kicked in. So obviously the force feedback then took my steering the other way. I took my one hand off the wheel as to say, oh, thank God for that. And then as I straightened the car up, the force feedback went the other way, and I only had one hand on the wheel. I didn't have enough strength because I've got 100% force feedback, so it just fully went, and I was like, oh my God. But it turns out the wheel isn't very good for punctures.
No need for the gym then. But yeah, in punch as well then. So is that did you have a puncher as well? Did you? Sorry, I must have missed that.
Yes, I had the puncture from turn 1. I got hit quite heavily at the back by Perez, and then I spun the car back round, and then it come up on the information that my rear right was red, so I thought, ah, crap. And then I went through turn 5. I weren't even, you know, I was in first gear, but it just completely went, and I couldn't get it straight enough, and then I just hit the wall. So It was.
That's very interesting actually, because that is 2 races now and we've had 3 punctures. Is it different? Is it quite easy to get a puncture on this game then? Is it like is it a lot more fragile than the 2018 game?
With simulation damage that obviously both IRC leagues run, yeah, you wear the tyre out too much, you hit somebody, you know, you run over somebody's front wing, or if you get hit enough in the right place, you know, your tyre, you're more likely for your tyre to go. So you're going to see a lot more punctures over the season than last, because these tyres, even though they're good on range and their life, it's they're more, you know, they're more likely to blow. So,
well, from my point of view, that's kind of music to my ears, really, because I like a bit of realism. But I bet you that's not good for you drivers, though, is it? That's going to probably get fairly annoying, especially on a turn 1 instance, because that is now two races, 3 punctures.
Yeah, you know, I'm quite annoyed. You know, today could have been a golden opportunity for me. We're not that bad starting with I don't know what problems he's had, but he's left enjoying the session multiple times, and obviously Dan missing. I felt I had the pace against Asdog, you know, Dave and Ross, but it's one of them. If you remember, I think I didn't even finish this race this time last year, but a couple of races next, and I was leading the championship. So we'll get Bahrain out of the way, and then we're going to hit 3 of my favourite tracks. So you know, I took the win in Monaco. I'll be aiming for that again, but I'll get Bahrain out of the way. Obviously, China went well last year until I had an accident.
Yeah, no, one of your teammate just decided to park in the middle of the hairpin down the back straight in China. Yeah. So less about that, the better.
Ross has just pitted, by the way, so I was right. Yeah, he did have to come back in.
So yeah, Ross goes in the pits then. So he's now on the. So what tyre is he going to go on then? So is he going to go on the mediums. Soft tyre? He's going to go on the medium tyres again then. So that is. Oh, he's also changed his front wing. Oh, no, that's not good for Roscoe. That's going to cost him at least 5 seconds. That might cost him the victory as well. As you can see, they're all strung out now as we're getting on to the final stage of this race at the moment. Not that bad now, leads by 5 seconds from Asdog, who's second. But I wonder Asdog's going to need to come in the pits because he's on a similar strategy to Roscoe. Roscoe coming out of the pits now, and he's on the medium tyre, so he should be going to the end now. Steve is also should be going to the end as well. We got a ghost car of the racing point. Matt is making a good comeback. Of course, he should be going to the end on the hard compound tyre. He is now behind Harry. Jonathan, who's on the super soft, on the soft compound tyre in the Ferrari. We got Snap 8th, Sven is 9th, and Double is 10th at the moment. Fizzico is all over the back of Double, and Fizzico is now powering by Double. Double is dropped out of the points, but there's still a very long way to go. Double has done 10 laps on his medium tyre, so he's going to have to come in the pits again. So 11 cars left. We don't count Perez because he's a rogue driver. He just snuck in without us knowing, and of course, unfortunately, broken. Erlang Dan has had issues. So absolutely phenomenal stuff at the moment. And yeah, that's interesting. But to talk about the punctures and things like that, into the pits is not that bad. So not that bad. Rolls the dice on the medium compound tyre. So he is now going to go onto the hard compound tyre. So he's going to go onto the medium compound tyres now, surely, and that's going to go to the end of the race then. As I wonder if he's listened to the stream and heard about the nose change from Roscoe. Do you reckon that's what's happened? He heard about the nose change, and not a bad fault that because he was only 7 tenths behind.
No, I think it's more of the fact he wanted to cover Ross off, but obviously he's got the gap to him now as well. So I don't think he's listening to the stream. I think it was just mainly he was on the hard tyres, but he expects Ross to be quite quick. So I think I think it was just covering him, but obviously the wing change, it didn't really need to.
And Jonathan now powering out the inside of Matt. And Jonathan, of course, on the soft compound tyres. He might have to come back into the pit. So Matt has dropped down to 10th position now. Then we got Fizzico, who's passed. Snap is in the pits then, as is Double. So we're going to have a bit of a pit lane battle now for for Snap. Oh, Snap has to change his front wing. Is that going to give Double the advantage then? Double's in the pits as well. What's Double going to do? What's the Williams mechanics going to do? He doesn't have to change the pit. Sorry, he doesn't have to change the nose on the Williams there. And out of the pits, Double is back into the points, and brilliant circles. Double was right in there in the mix in qualifying. He qualified 7th on the grid. Phenomenal stuff from Double, and really that is very good things of this season. As Dog is now rolling the dice, he is not coming in the pits. He's done 11 laps on these medium tyres. Is he going to be able to last the distance? He has got a 16.2 second gap over. Not that bad, man. Not that bad as on fresh medium tyres, as is Roscoe. So yeah, as Dog, the pole sitter for the Australian Grand Prix, is leading this race with just 10 laps to go, and the sun's really getting to the driver's eyes now as they come through the final couple of corners. We're just watching Jonathan Cox and Harry now battling it out for 5th position. I'm not sure about the soft compound tyre going to the end, but what do you reckon? Do you reckon the soft compound tyre is going to get to the end? He's done 3 laps on them when there's 10 laps to go. That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
No, we should be all right, I reckon. You got to take into the, if it's a fresh track, the softs they should make it. If it's ones that's used in qualifying, they won't make it. Without qualifying on, it will last 12, 13 laps maybe. So
Jonathan then is definitely will be going to the end on the soft compound tyres. Of course, Harry will be as well. But remember, he's on the hard compound tyres. But we expect Harry and Matt to come back out Jonathan towards the end of the race, because those soft tyres might lose performance. though, do you think, or is that yeah? Excellent.
Yeah, they'll start losing a couple of tenths a lap, and then if he makes any mistakes, it'll be more. But well, saying that, Harry's only 1.4 behind him at the minute, so 1.2. So if he's pushed him really hard, then I think we might have to actually see Jonathan in again. But I think Zwain in the Haas is definitely going to have to pit again. He's already done 8 laps on his softs. I think Snap will make it.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, because Physico's in the wall. He tried to go to the inside of turn 11. He's down to the front wing. Physico was going to the end, but now he's got to come back into the pit. I wonder if that overtake was a bit too ambitious, but that is a big blow for Physico. And Sven is continuing on, but Matt is now getting really interested in Harry, isn't he? And as these two are battling over 6th and 7th, and this could potentially become 5th if Jonathan doesn't look after those soft compound tyres. 21 out of 29. The gap at the front is down to 15.4 seconds at the moment between Asdog and Matt Barnes on the inside of Harry and Harry. That is an incredible drive from both guys, and a bit of a love kiss there from Harry. They have a great battle. Amazing stuff. How great stuff from Harry to avoid that, and a brilliant car control from both guys. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And Matt there also getting very interested again, as unfortunately Physical has come in the pits. He's dropped down to 11th position at the moment. Snap, and also Sven's in the pits while he's on the soft compound tyre, and he should be going to the end now on those soft compound tyres. But wow, amazing stuff. And whilst we've got you in the chat, Hunter, we need to extract as much information out as we can, so I look a bit, professional for the rest of the season. In terms of the rest of the season, then, who is you must be aiming for championship challenge, then, surely?
Well, that's the plan. The biggest flaw from last season is I wasn't very consistent. I've got to work on that this season, capitalise on bad weekends from obviously the top guys. Today would have been a prime example of that, but so it's not going to be a walk in the park. I think there's going to be quite a few guys near the end of the season that's going to be up there. It's just going to be down to consistency now. So I've just got to keep hoping these guys have bad weekends, and I've just got to capitalise on them. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know if you had that.
Yeah, I was just having a quick. Oh, and that's why it's Physico. Yeah, he's off at turn. And it's not just on the fast lap of the race. Yeah, that's turn 12, isn't it? Oh, and the Perez is just flying by as well. And Physico has just decided to call it a day. He's done a Schumacher and just decided to go into the wall there. So yeah, I think that might have been a bit of frustration on Physico's part there. And to be honest, he's had a very difficult day. Not that bad. He's just decided to respond to Snap's fastest lap challenge and has put in a fast lap of his own. So remember, this is the new rule. So this is what's going to make it fast and furious towards the end of the race. Asdog come in the pit and put on the soft compound tire. It's out and is out in challenge of Roscoe. But the only problem is Asdog has got damage to his end plate, and I think it was the duel down to turn 3, which we're having another look at now. Asdog having a look on the outside. He's going to go for the switchback, not quite. Roscoe parks his car beautifully in the middle of the track there. Phenomenal stuff from Roscoe. I wonder there's going to be a lot of disappointed drivers after this race. I know there's one guy who's going to be absolutely delighted when Matt goes up into 6th position. He passes Harry and is now in 6th position. Jonathan is 7 seconds down the road at the moment. We'll keep an eye on the soft compound runners. So Matt is this battle's been building up on it over the last couple of laps. So good stuff. Matt's done 16 laps on those compound tires. So they will be at the end of their life to come to the end of this race. But yeah, well, but I think they should be fine going to the end. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. What's going on? It's Snap. I think Snap is recovering. He's got a puncture. Snap has got a puncture, and he's going. Oh, that is a big shame for Snap, and that's going to cost. He's almost. Yeah, it's right down there. Almost. Oh.
Yeah. Ooh. That Williams would not have liked that. Then Double would have been praying Snap seen, and yeah, it is. It's his left. Oh, yeah. Same as what I did, but I did mine at turn 5. But he's only done 4 laps on them softs, so he's run over debris. He must have.
Oh, and that was not that bad.
Wow.
I tell you what, Snap does like a bit of a fireworks display. That he almost collected the leader. Not that bad there. And yeah, we were talking about punctures earlier, and that is a big shame for Snap. That really is. What a shame! And you see Asdog and Roscoe there just battling for 2nd position there. But he was halfway down, like just coming out of the pit exit. Well, it wasn't coming out of the pit exit, but he was at the pit exit where we caught up with him. And that is a big blow for Snap, so he's got to go the whole lap around. So this is going to cost him a point, I think. I don't think Sergio Perez is going to get a point, and you can see he's dropped out already. That is such a shame for Snap, really is. He's had a battling drive today, hasn't it? It's been a difficult day for Snap. It's been a difficult day for a lot of drivers. Let's just come back to the point we was making before we seen Snap having some issues. There's a lot of Roscoe! Oh my gosh, a major accident! Oh my gosh! Roscoe and Asdog has had a huge accident. Roscoe spun the car up on turn 12, and Asdog had nowhere to go, and it's out of the Australian Grand Prix. I'm talking about disappointments. Asdog, who has had a difficult day out there, and blimey, that was Jonathan Coxer just flying through. My gosh, awful accident. That's got to be
a safety car if I've ever seen one.
We had a safety car last night for
Asdog's car's in the middle of the road. Surely that would have been a safety car.
No, it should have been a safety car. That was, I suppose Codemasters 3 is only like 5 laps to go. But no, that was an awful crash. That was a huge accident there. Massive disappointment for both Roscoe and Asdog, who have had some great races today. And there's going to be a lot of disappointed drivers out there. I'm speaking to one of them now, unfortunately from Hunter's point of view. But for us, we've had some good information, and there is a Snap who's trying to come from the pit. So Snap is doing a good job. He can keep going because he can get some points that might be valuable to the Renault team later on.
Again.
Asdog, he's still Snap is still coming through now. Double is up in the 7th position. We were talking about Double earlier. And Snap there just trying to get out. Good awareness there from Snap. Once again, he frightens Double, and because they come together earlier on, didn't they? Almost come together earlier on as well. But a massive disappointment, and Hunter unfortunately was our first retirement of the season. Dave also out as well. That disappointed a lot of the fans in the comments section, which is a shame. Physico had a difficult race as well. Unfortunately, Snap has had a difficult afternoon. Asdog and Roscoe.
I'm wondering because
it's Steve and Lip. What's happened to Steve? Well, he's in the pits.
I think he's got to change his front wing because I think he actually has hit
Snap.
Snap. the snap was recovering a Williams, it looked either very close or yeah, there's a ring weight, and I think he hit the spinning of the snap. But
it's a bit unfortunate.
It looks like on Snap's car he's got completely missing his left. His left hand side of his wing. I wonder if he's hit the pit wall, the coming out of the last corner. I wonder if he's hit the wall and that's what actually punctured his tyre.
You know, it looked a bit odd when we come to him because he was, as we said, he was halfway down the pit straight. So I'm really trying to work out what happened there. But
I bet he's ran a little bit wide and he's hit the wall. Because believe it or not, if you actually hit the wall in the right place, that does also cause you a puncture as well. But
he might have done a Sue Till and it Steve's all over the back of Harry. Out in a look in turn 6 there, because a bit of the shaded area of the track then, because Harry has done a lot of laps on those hard tyres, 15 laps to be precise, and Steve's now back up the 4th position. But going back to the snap, and we think Snap and Steve came together there, but Snap was trying to recover back to the pits in a car which was struggling to stay in a straight line, so it wasn't really Snap's fault there. And to be honest, you have to be in it to win it. Oh, and look at Steve's just got so much more momentum now coming off for the turn 12 there. I think it's through and up into third position. Now, it's going to come to penalties as well. Unfortunately though, if it's like yesterday, I will not find out the final race result until I hear what happens in the charts. So, which is not great. So hopefully Codemasters can sort that out really, because it feels like the race result is up in the air like it was back in Canada. And as now Matt Lennon is now 4th position, 5th position is Harry then. So as we come into the end of what has been a spectacular Australian Grand Prix, a lot of difficult races then to begin this season, but if there's anything to go by, this is going to be a phenomenal season of IRC Super. The Elite League last night was absolutely brilliant stuff, and again tonight with the Supers, as Harry's gone very wide, it's been just as fraught up at the front, midfield and all the way down to the near back of the grid. Double doing a good job there, as we said, as we was talking. Let's just highlight Double again, because he's done a phenomenal job, because as we said, Azerbaijan, Monaco and races like that, he's always there or thereabouts. And again today, with a high attrition rate, he's always there, isn't he? He's a very consistent driver. Double is the closest battle on track at the moment is between Matt and Harry. They've had a difficult day themselves, haven't they? Matt has done 20 laps on those medium.
I have to say, Harry is not usually, for Harry, he never usually tells anyone, but I'm giving him credit because he is sticking on the back of Matt. He's not letting him get over a second.
He's not, is he? He's because Matt looked like he had the legs on Harry, didn't he, a couple of laps ago? But I think since Matt, he's gone wide turn 50. Commentator put curse. He'll
have still got the DRS though, so he will be able to pull a bit of time back.
Yeah, the DRS activation lights just before turn 15, I believe, on this track. So he'll get DRS for between the 16 and 1 and between 2 and 3. So, and Matt's gone a bit wide in turn 1 as well. We're on lap 28 then. Let's join the leader, not that bad. Let's just take a quick overview of what he's done in from days, and Snap there got so fast up again. He needs to keep going. He is he's just under half a minute behind Erlang Dang. Can he get into the points? Because that means that'll be 2 points for Snap, and he's flying the one, because he'll be fast up the race. Otherwise, with the fast lap point would go to not that bad, but not that bad. There's gone 12 positions in this race. Surely he has to be driver of the day. He's had connections issues and all sorts, but yet he has shown consistency, and he's really shown not to give up, hasn't he? He's done a phenomenal job today, not that bad, superb stuff. Jonathan has also he's kept himself out of trouble, he's been in a lot of battles as well, Jonathan has. He is second at the moment, doing a good job. And first we got a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Steve's off, and he's it's turn 12, and not that bad's got the fast up the race, and Steve, it's gone wrong at the final part of the race. He has dropped down the fifth.
He's took his wing off again.
It's the end play.
He's lost his left and his entire side of his left hand wing's gone.
Oh, no, it's a shame. He's gone wide again.
He's going to have to pit again. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the Renault there. He's going to have to come back in. He's not going to keep that on track.
Oh, what a shameful steal! It was going so well from so right, and then all of a sudden the last final part of the race, and he's having to come back in. Which Sven's going to get by him as well. Double, I think, is too far back. So he's going to drop behind Sven. Then what a shameful steal! He's done a phenomenal job all the way up to the end, and then it's just all falling apart. We think a rogue snap, who was, remember, he was struggling with a puncture. It's very difficult to keep the car in a straight line. But Not That Bad is on the final tour of the race then. A phenomenal drive for Not That Bad. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Matt is back on a podium.
I'd like to give a shout out for Harry as well, though. He's gone up 10 places. He's had a difficult race, but he's still 10 places up from where he started. So, you know, big shout out for Harry there. You know, he's done an amazing job. And like I say, he's kept on the back of Matt. He's not letting Matt have this easy. So,
absolutely phenomenal drive.
Stop the checkered flag.
Yeah, and he wins the first race of season 6. Not that bad, and he is really definitely he's a favourite, isn't he, going into this season? And he has kind of proved everyone right on that occasion. Amazing stuff from Not That Bad. Brilliant drive, and he has kept himself out of trouble. Brilliant stuff. Second is Jonathan, of course, making his this is his debut for Ferrari, isn't it? And of course, it's his first full season, and he is second. He's going to be pleased with that. Third position is Matt, and of course he's had a very difficult race. 23 laps on the hard compound tire, but he is happy to. He's only 2 seconds behind Jonathan, and that's how much it could be. As Sergio Perez broke Grilla and Erlang Daniel finished there. Harry, as Hunter said, a brilliant drive from Harry. He is up to 4th position. Sven, also a good drive as well. As you can see, we've got a bit of a Renault car in the middle of the track there. Sven goes 5th, is up into 5th position. Good, well done to Sven as well. Survived, and of course that's your team there as well. Hunter, good 10 points there from Sven, and Steve now coming around and what a shame for Steve. He was on course for a podium as well, and then it's all just falling apart. But it's still a valuable couple of points for Steve, and he finishes 7th position, and 6th position. 7th position is double, and he survives the race as well. Absolutely barnstorm of a race there. It's been a difficult one for several drivers. To be honest, I think everyone's had a difficult day in parts. Phenomenal stuff. Wow. So so I think, as you were saying there, Hunter, Harry done a phenomenal drive today, didn't he? And he's definitely does deserve a shout out. Not that bad. Definitely another man who deserves a shout out as well. Phenomenal stuff. But I think all the guys that finished really do deserve, to be honest, all of them do deserve some praise, because that was difficult, very difficult race to get through. Chaos everywhere, and there's going to be a lot of disgruntled drivers, I feel, because this is a new season, and unfortunately some of it just didn't go their way. But yeah, phenomenal. What did you think about that race then? Well, apart from your early demise, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a very good race. I'd prefer to be in it, but it was very good to watch. So I think we're in for a good season. But move on to next week. You know, we could be looking at a completely different top 3. You never know. So, good way to start the season.
That is it is a very good way to start the season indeed, isn't it? And I think that. I think as much as Not That Bad looked like he had quite a substantial lead towards the end of that race, I think a lot of it, if you watch the race as a whole, I don't think anyone had a major advantage over anyone. So this is looking very good. I'm really excited about this as well. Of course, Not That Bad, it has to be the early season favourite, because he did finish 3rd in the championship last year. Hunter finished 4th, so really them two are surely got to be the guys that would be looking out to definitely be challenging for the title. And I think you'd be disappointed, wouldn't you? Really, if you wasn't in the title conversation, wouldn't you? Not
really, because that means I'd probably actually prefer to, not be mentioned in the title, because then it could be a bit of a, I could just get on with it. But it's now, I know each week that I'm racing, the likes are Not That Bad, Dave, Dan, Matt. So I don't think it's going to be setting. I don't think Not That Bad's going to have it easy. Definitely, I'll be making it. I'll be making it quite hard, and I know Dan will as well, and anyone else that gets a chance. He's already said that he needs to work on his penalties. I mean, today he's only got one, but if me and anyone else can keep on him and push him into making these mistakes and get the wins. I mean, we've seen him, when we get to what I'm kind of my specialist tracks, as we like to call them, it'll be interesting. Obviously, as soon as we start getting to street circuits, that's kind of my advantage, or wet races. So he's not going to have it easy. I think there's going to be multiple winners this season, and we'll just keep going, and we crown someone champion when we get to the end.
Definitely. So, and that's the only guarantee we're going to have this season, is someone will be season 6 champion. The question is, who will it be? To be honest, there is still 20 more races to go. So even though it's been a difficult race for the likes of Hunter, for the likes of Asdog, Roscoe, who unfortunately didn't finish, and of course, we had a couple of issues with Steve as well, but we got some new blood in there. Jonathan Cox is looking good near the top. Dan Murphy was missing today, but surely he'll be back with a vengeance as well. Dave had a very difficult start to the race, didn't he? But expect him to be also in the shout, as will Matt, and of course we cannot forget Harry as well, who's done a phenomenal drive. But yeah, if any of those guys have a clean race and more, anyone could have a clean race and be right at the top of the standings come the end of the race. Next week we are in Bahrain International in Sakhir for the international circuit. Of course, the elite guys will start on Wednesday, and can anyone stop Vanquish at the moment? Vanquish is not at the top of his game either, which is quite frightening, and he's still come through to take the victory in fine style as well. Today, Not That Bad, who was also on his back foot as well, but also come through to complete an amazing victory. But as we said, though, there's a couple of drivers missing from both leagues, and we was waiting to see if anyone would join us for a quick conversation. But I think it's been a very difficult race, and I'm not really too sure if anyone's up for speaking really. I don't think they are, so we might end the stream there. Unless you've got anything else to add, Hunter.
No.
Excellent stuff, then. Thanks for joining us for the race, and thanks for your input, and of course thanks for Dave Shaw for joining us in qualifying as well. So it's great to hear from the drivers during the race as well. It's a shame that they weren't taking part in it a bit more, though, and hopefully they will be towards the end of the next race. Jonathan Cox just commented to say, great race here, well done Jonathan, on the podium, nicely done. Anyway, from us here, that was goodbye. We'll see you in a week's time in Bahrain. Yeah, that's so shit how oh, sugar.